Well, Mark, I want to talk about media stocks as well for just a moment. We have a lot of new shows coming out on the networks both this week and next week. We're going to talk more about media in just a minute. In terms of how the stocks are doing today and which are doing the best today, don't have a lot of fundamental news, but we've got Interpublic Group on the rise right now. Time Warner's doing well. Scripps is doing well. Comcast. So a lot of gains here. You can see Meredith also on the list of the stocks that are gaining in today's session. But there's a lot of bouncing around, we should note, because of the expiration of futures and options contracts. Incidentally, as well, if you look at media for the year to date, we also have a relatively strong performance. So if you look at the 24 industry groups in the S&P 500, you can see today's performance there up 0.8% for the year to date, up about 25%. And that means within the S&P 500, it comes in the top 10. In fact, it comes in at number 9. So media stocks have performed pretty well. Interpublic, also the best for the year to date, incidentally. And just as the economy starts to stabilize, Universal Pictures, speaking of media, has announced that it will not spend any more money on future development for the rest of the year. Bloomberg's Vera Gibbons is here with more on this story.
It's still a very tough environment for these guys, right? So it's been very tough in particular for studios, particularly for Universal. In fact, among the major studios, Universal is struggling the most this year. It's really just this underperformer that's made some costly missteps. You mentioned Land at a Loss. That was a really expensive movie to make, and it didn't bring in hardly anything. And here's another point, too. More so than any other studios, Universal is subject to strict financial discipline. It's one of the many children being fed at the table at GE, according to one analyst, as he put it. So the decision has been made. No more spending money on the creative stuff on any project that hasn't already been greenlighted. So this is a big blow to the deal-making community, agents, writers, directors, a very challenging landscape. And, of course, they're not going to make any money now.
So is this just a question of people not going to the movies the way they used to, the economy factoring, more people staying home on demand, that type of stuff?
Yeah, that's a problem for them. Maybe they're not going to uni movies as well. So, but it's really less about the downturn in the ticket sales and more about, as you mentioned, Mark, the downturn in those DVD sales. Universal Pictures coming off a tough quarter with profit down by about $80 million on fewer important DVD releases in the year-ago period. NBC Universal Chief Jeff Zucker addressed these concerns recently in the Goldman Sachs press conference just on Tuesday, in fact, saying that the home entertainment marketplace is the biggest issue in the business today and inevitably expects more cutbacks.
So are these problems Universal's alone, or are we seeing some of the other studios also struggle?
Well, again, it is a challenging environment, so you are seeing some of the other studios struggle, probably not to the extent that Universal is. But taking a look at Disney, for example, they're having a tough year as well. If you look at the numbers for the third quarter, Disney's film studio posted a loss of $12 million, and that compares to a $97 million profit last year. Now, it, too, expected to slow down development as a result.
Bloomberg's Vera Gibbons. Vera, thanks so much.